The Cop Man, Larry Cotlar, is joining us in studio, and we needed to talk a little bit about how quickly they replace the mayor up in Ames, and you're just the man we need to go
Well,
to.
thank you for that. I appreciate that.
So what do you think?
Well,
Just
first of all,
quickly.
I'm not surprised at all. I figured this thing would be done in a week because you got to get on with recruiting. The players need to know who their coach is going to be, and it's this late in the season, so I wasn't surprised at all. In fact, I predicted it'd be within a week, and I guess I was right.
Now, when we were talking at the Principal Charity Classic, you had a handful of people, or everyone was talking about a handful of people, and you said you knew quite a bit of them because you are the voice of the Bulldogs, and you've gotten to know a lot of them. Do you think this is the right person for the job, and do you know Prohm, and can you tell us something about him?
Well, Prohm was the coach at Murray State. They played Drake back in the Music City Classic, which was back Thanksgiving time. And actually, it was a very close game. Bulldogs hung in there, and then a late 10-0 run by Murray State. They won the game 68-59. They forced 20 Drake turnovers and had 19 offensive rebounds, so they were aggressive. And one thing, I was talking to some folks down at Murray State yesterday, and one of the things about them, they're very aggressive defensively. Now, that scares people. And it scares people for this reason. We think about Iowa State, we think about offense, right? They score a lot of points. So everybody, when they hear about defense, the first thing they think of is, oh man, we're going to go back and score 60 points a game, right?
Oh,
Not the case.
Slow it down, okay.
Yeah, they're going to slow it down. Not the case at all. Because the thing is, and I was talking to somebody yesterday, he likes to score. They like to go up tempo. So for example, their magic number is 80. His belief is that if we score 80 points, you won't, and we'll beat you. And his record when they score 80 points or more is 46-4. I mean, you look at his overall record.
Pretty good theory then, yeah.
Yeah, it is. Well, his record in 4 years at Murray was 104-29.
Wow.
They had the first year they were 31-2, went to the NCAA tournament, then 21-10, 23-11, and this last year 29-6.
Wow.
And they won the Ohio Valley Conference title. They just lost in the tournament championship game, I believe, by 1 point to Belmont. And because their conference is not a highly rated conference, they did not make the NCAA tournament. In fact, I remember people like Dick Vitale wondering about that. I mean, they had such a great record, but they didn't make the NCAA tournament.
I mean, the last couple of years we heard about Murray State. Always heard about him.
So if he has such a great record and great things are going on for him there, why is he coming to Iowa State?
Well, you know, it's interesting. Well, first of all, it's in a higher ranked conference. I mean, going from Murray State to Iowa State is a clear upgrade.
Okay.
Without question. You're going into the Big 12 conference, which is the #1 or #2 conference in America. Now, what's interesting is he signed a contract extension after last season. So, obviously, we know what that means. You know,
He's got a good lawyer.
well, he's got a good lawyer. How many times do we see that happen? But, you know, I was talking to some folks again at Murray about what kind of guy he is. First of all, they do stress defense first. He likes to pressure on the wings. Doesn't play a lot of, for example, full court pressure.
I'm looking forward to seeing this face on the on the sidelines.
Why do all basketball coaches look angry whenever they do that?
Because they usually are.
They're usually yelling something, and that always has anger face.
Exactly. But he doesn't full court press, for example, but they like to pressure the wings. But then I was trying to find out something about him personally.
Okay.
And so I was asking about him. I said, first of all, he's a man of great faith. Second of all, he puts players first. It's not about him. It's about his players. He wants them out in the community. He's very, I think the word they gave me, the phrase they gave me was, he liked to develop a culture that embraces the fans. So he likes to get the fans involved. They'll get to know who the players are. And I think in a place like Ames, Iowa, or anywhere really in this state, I think that's very, very important, you know, from a PR standpoint. Great guy to be around, very knowledgeable. Here's a quick story for you. They were going to play 1 year in the Great Alaska Shootout, which features 8 teams up in Anchorage. And he was doing an interview with somebody, and he broke down all 7 possible opponents in 30-second segments. Was able to do that just off the top of his head. Very knowledgeable, loves the game, knows the game, and again, his players seem to love him.
It's funny that you mentioned defense because all I heard yesterday was what a great offensive coach he is, you know, on the Twitter.
Well, the first thing that the guys I was talking to down there, the first thing he said, I'll just quote him, he says, we'll not have a team that is not committed to playing defense. He's pays a lot of attention to detail. That's what it's all about. So yes, they do score points, but make no mistake, they don't just run up and down the court and play no defense. This isn't the summer league.
At what point do you think this process began, and how does this all work?
I was
They
gonna
send
say-
notes to each other. I like you. Do you like me?
Because there's been hints from Pollard that this didn't just happen. This has kind of been in the works for a while because they knew Hoiberg might have a wandering eye.
Well, coaches, I mean, athletic directors always have lists of potential candidates. They're always keeping their eyes open, and especially, like you said, you know, in the case with Fred, where they knew at some point that he wanted to go to the NBA. So if you have that knowledge, you got to have a list ready. You don't want to start from scratch when Fred decides, well, I'm leaving. Uh-oh, now I got to go start calling people. No, you keep a list and you keep timely. I mean, that's your job as an athletic director.
Well, this guy has some pretty big shoes to fill, especially since when Fred got here, there was a lot of questions from professionals, not from fans, because fans said, Fred, you can do the job, and they were all confident he could do the job. Not only did he do the job, he exceeded his expectations and what the Cyclones and how the Cyclones are performing now. This guy, bottom line is, he's got to perform, or the fans aren't going to put up with it, because he's not. To be honest with you, he's not one of us. Freddie was one of us. We were going to give him a break, and he earned the respect that he has. This guy has to perform, or the fans are going to get all over him.
Well, that's the case really with just about anybody. I mean, look at Fran McCaffrey when he came to Iowa. He came from Siena and came from other places. So, you can become one of us pretty quickly if you win some games. I mean, that doesn't change. That Hayden Fry wasn't one of us, but Hayden Fry became one of us.
Yeah, but if you lose some games,
that's true.
Rather quickly,
that's true.
And
there's no guarantees in sports. That's I don't know if it's the beauty or the agony of sports. There's no guarantees you're going to walk in and win games. I would say this. First of all, he's not Fred Hoiberg, and fans need to remember that. He is not. Let him be Steve Prohm. Don't try to make him into Fred Hoiberg. Second of all, he's going to have an experienced team this year. It's a great situation for him to walk into. The other thing to remember is he's going to lose a lot of those players after next year. George Niang, and he's might lose Monte Morris. He might go pro. I mean, he's going to lose some players after next year, so he's going to have to go out and recruit.
That's going to be a real test then.
It will be a real test. And then fans are going to have to be patient. If you're rebuilding, you can't expect to go out there and win 25 games every year. It's just going to be a process. Again, people just need to be patient. Chill out a little bit. I know, I love Fred too. I mean, everybody does. But I think we almost deified him.
Yeah.
Really over the last few weeks.
Really quickly, have we heard about any of the other coaching staff staying, going? Don't know yet.
Have not yet. Be curious to see. T.J. Otzelberger's the big name, obviously, and he came back from Washington to be on the staff, and he was in the mix in the Final Four. I hope he stays.
Will he stay? Yeah. That's the question.
We really don't know. We really don't know. Yeah.
Well, thanks for keeping us up to date.
You're the man.
Anytime.
Thank you, Cop Man.
You got it, guys.
All right. And coming up here in the next couple of weeks, the Cop Man is going to have a very special announcement, a big happening in his life that we're going to share with everybody, too. So
are you
that's
pregnant?
Going to be very cool. Could be.
I wish I'd be very rich if I became pregnant.
We'll be right back. This is Great Day.